Number 6. Hallucigenia. If you ever designed a creature after 3 cups of coffee and 0 hours of sleep, congratulations, you just reinvented Hallucigenia. This thing looked like a worm wearing high heels, and it's still the gold standard software glitch of evolution. The name literally means hallucination because only a fever dream could produce something this confusing. Hallucigenia lived over 500 million years ago when nature had just learned how to use Photoshop but hadn't figured out how layers work. It was a few inches long, thin as spaghetti covered in spikes, and had tiny clawed legs to creep along the seafloor. A harmless little scavenger, yet it managed to confuse scientists for 4 decades. Here's the twist: when the first fossils were found, scientists built it completely upside down. They thought the spikes were legs, the legs were tentacles, and a blob of squished guts was its head. So for 20 years, humanity stared at this thing walking on spikes, eating with its back, and seeing out of what turned out to be, its butt. Basically the world's longest case of mistaken identity. By the 1,990 new fossils from China finally flipped the animal the right way up. And in 2015, electron microscopes revealed its real face: 2 simple eyes and a mouth ringed with tiny metal-looking teeth. It didn't chew, it vacuumed its food like a prehistoric drinking straw. If you've ever seen a video game glitch, where the character's face collapses in on itself, that's the vibe. Today, Hallucigenia is confirmed as a distant ancestor of velvet worms, small, squishy, and thankfully less nightmare fuel. From a lab mistake to a key piece of the evolutionary puzzle, it taught science one thing: sometimes the answer really is just to turn it upside down. If evolution ever had a beta version of life, Hallucigenia was the bug everyone still remembers. Number 5. Dunkleosteus. Picture a fish the size of a school bus, wrapped head to tail in metal armor and armed with a jaw that works like 2 guillotines. Meet Dunkleosteus, the underwater meat grinder of the Devonian seas 360 million years ago. If evolution were a video game, this was the boss fight with no pause button. 30 feet long, weighing several tons, it wore bone plates thicker than Iron Man's suit. No teeth, just razor-edged jawbones that slid together like self-sharpening scissors. That bite could split armored prey clean in half. And sometimes it even ate its own teammates. Yep, scientists found fossils showing smaller Dunkleosteus bitten by larger ones. Prehistoric team building clearly went wrong. And it wasn't just strong, it was fast. A special hinge in its skull let it open its mouth in 20 milliseconds faster than you can blink. That speed created a vacuum sucking prey straight in like an ancient Dyson, except instead of crumbs, it cleaned out entire ecosystems. Engineers calculated its bite force at 5 tons, about the same as getting crushed between 2 closing elevators. Visually, don't imagine a sleek shark. Think short, thick, and muscle-bound, basically a swimming wrecking ball. And since it couldn't digest bone, it often spit up chunks of leftovers like a biological blender with an undo button. Then one day, nature hit reset. A mass extinction wiped out the entire armored fish dynasty, ending Dunkleosteus's reign. That's when sharks took over. Because honestly, if this thing still existed, nobody would ever go near the ocean again. Nature said, "I made sharks." Dunkleosteus replied, "Cute. Now add armor." Number 4. Arthropleura. If you hate centipedes, take a deep breath. Arthropleura was their overachieving cousin, 8 feet long, crawling through carboniferous coal forests like a freight train with legs. No venom, no fangs, just huge. It owed its size to oxygen levels twice as high as today, turning bugs into evolutionary lottery winners. Scientists have found tracks the size of a coffee table, and that alone is nightmare fuel. Imagine hiking, hearing something rustling behind you, turning around, and seeing a centipede waist-high clattering toward you. No predators needed. The fear alone cleared the forest. If you've stuck around this long, congratulations, you're officially one of us. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell because we're just getting warmed up. Number 3. Helicoprion. Now imagine a 2-story bus-sized predator with a jaw that looks like a circular saw. That's Helicoprion, aka the pizza cutter shark. Nature looked at regular sharks and said, "Pretty good. But what if we added a power tool?" This beast stretched 40 feet long, ruling the seas of the Permian period. Its claim to fame was a massive spiral of teeth tucked neatly inside its lower jaw. Think sushi slicer meets industrial hardware. Here's the fun part: when the first fossils turned up in 1899, all scientists found was the spiral. So theories went wild. Some thought it sat on the dorsal fin like a propeller. Others stuck it on the tail, or best one yet, curling up from its snout. For a while, science literally believed this thing ate with its forehead. Then in 2013, a high-resolution CT scan of a fossil from Idaho finally solved the mystery. The tooth spiral was inside the jaw, rolling backward as it bit, cutting, slicing, and feeding prey straight down the throat. Basically a biological bandsaw that ran on seafood. But plot twist, it wasn't a shark at all. It was a distant cousin of the chimera, those creepy deep-sea ratfish that look like rejected Pixar mascots. Its teeth almost never dulled, proving it ate only soft-stuffed squid, octopus, anything squishy enough for fine dining. The ocean's first sushi chef. And somehow it survived the Permian-Triassic extinction that killed 96% of marine life. Helicoprion looked death in the face and said, "Not today." But a few million years later, its perfection became its downfall. The world changed, the menu didn't. Nature shrugged. Beautiful design. Too specialized. Moral of the story: in evolution, being too creative just makes you the most stylish thing on the extinction list. Number 2. Opabinia. If any creature proves that the Cambrian era was just nature beta testing life, it's Opabinia. A few inches long, it had 5 eyes on stalks, a vacuum hose snout, ending in a claw and a mouth, underneath its head facing backward. When paleontologist Harry Whittington first presented it in 1975, the entire audience full of seasoned scientists burst out laughing. They thought it was a joke. It wasn't. Opabinia was absolutely real, a reminder that 500 million years ago the universe was throwing ideas at the wall to see what stuck. This one didn't. Number 1. Meganeura. Forget the tiny dragonflies hovering over your pond. 300 million years ago, the skies belonged to Meganeura, a demon dragonfly with a 30-inch wingspan about the size of a crow. Basically the kind of bug you never want flying at your windshield. Technically, it wasn't a true dragonfly, but an extinct order called Meganeura or griffin flies. Sounds like a Pokemon, except this one could eat a Pokemonday. Back then, the air was loaded with oxygen, about 35% instead of today's 21%. Insects breathed through little tubes like built-in straws, so extra oxygen meant they could bulk up. Nature looked at that and said, let's make one the size of a bird. What could go wrong? And since there were no birds or pterosaurs yet, Meganeura was the undisputed king of the skies. No predators, no competition, no admin to report bugs. It had massive compound eyes for panoramic hunting vision and spiked legs like flying bear traps. Its menu ranged from small insects to baby amphibians and reptiles. Miss your flight path by a few feet and game over. If Meganeura still existed, you'd wear a helmet just to take out the trash. Imagine hearing a deep whoop 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 overhead, looking up and seeing a bug the size of a DJI drone with GoPro-sized eyes. Only it's not filming, it's hunting. Yeah. The original airstrike. You've made it this far. Welcome to Beats Lore, where we unravel the strangest creatures evolution ever came up with. Next time we're adding a brand new category. What's your pick? A. Creatures frozen for tens of thousands of years that somehow came back to life. B. Predators that evolved backward. The more modern, the more flawed. C. Fossils misunderstood for an entire century before finally being proven innocent. Type A divided by B divided by C plus 1. Reason down in the comments. We'll read them all and include your choice in the next ranking. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next episode, where the bottom of time may be hiding more than just mysteries.